Well, hello. My name is Daddy-O, and does your Uber have a smell? Does it smell good or does it smell bad? I'm going to tell you what's happened in the it happened all yesterday. First of all, the two things I'm going to talk about today. All right. I'm going to help you have that first impression. All right. This today is to help all Uber drivers or rideshare or just in your personal vehicle. I'm going to help you have that first impression on people when they come up and not climb in your vehicle, but when they open the door. Because I had it happen twice yesterday, and it was funny, and we're going to talk about it because what one lady did. All right, here we go. There's something I have talked about on here before and so many times about first impressions. When people, I talk about it. Some people blow this off, but listen, I work for tips. I work for money, okay? I'm not out here just to drive Uber, all right? So here's what happens, all right? And I've talked about this one thing before, all right? There's two things I do that are so important, but there's one thing that happened yesterday that I got comments on right before when they opened the door. Can you guess what that is? If you've watched my videos before, you may be able to guess what happened, all right? Here it is, all right? And I'm going to tell you, into the script, it's hard to find this, all right? I'm going to tell you, go to Walmart, go see if you can find this. I challenge an Uber driver, every Uber driver, to go do this and come back and comment and let me know what happened, all right? There's a challenge going on here, all right? Here we go. This is something I have talked about. Now, my son turned me on to this a few years ago. He also does transportation. He doesn't do Uber, but he also does transportation work. And he turned me on to this smell, this aroma, a few years back. And I have talked about it in videos before. I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to tell you what happened last night, or yesterday and last night. This is called Febreze Honeyberry Hula. And like I say, in the description, if you can't find it at Walmart, in the description, you can order it and have it sent. This stuff right here is the stuff, all right? This right here hangs in my car all the time. Sits over here by the vent. What happened last night, yesterday and last night, before people ever got in the vehicle, it was so funny last night when the lady did it. She comes up to the car. Two ladies are getting in. The lady on this side opens the door and she goes, "Oh my God, what's that smell?" And I kind of puzzled there because I wasn't smelling outside the vehicle, so I wasn't sure if she smelled a skunk somewhere or what was going on. She goes, "This vehicle," and she hollered across the top of the car to the other lady and says, open the door, smell this." And the lady opened the door. And of course, because I use this, it works, all right? All right. That's first impression. That's first impression. So I challenge every Uber driver, or just if you want it for your personal car, look, this stuff is the real deal. This Honeyberry Hula, Gain, Febreze Honeyberry Hula is the real deal, all right? This is the stuff that can make you some extra money, because what happens is, and I've talked about this before, it's first impressions. I have a clean car because I do a rental. So when I pull up, I have a clean car. But when they open the door, and I've talked about before, when they sit their butts down in your seat, the first thing they're going to smell, first thing that's going to hit them right between the eyes is the smell of your car. It has to happen. They have to breathe. All right. That stuff there is the real deal. And I get comments and comments, but when someone does it, or starts commenting before they ever get in the vehicle, you know it's working. All right? You know that the stuff is working. And that's what happens. That first impression is what comes, people don't know. There are a lot, there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Uber drivers out here. A lot of them don't pay attention to that one thing, the smell of their cars. And I get comments from people, because I've talked about it before, that do pay attention to this. But a lot of drivers just don't even pay attention to it. It's not happening to them. All right. That's not a thought in their mind of how good their car smells. They think it smells good because they're in it all the time. They don't realize a car will develop odors over time. All right. Not doing that one. Your car will develop an odor. And so when you can soften that blow, when people get in and they respond to a clean car, smells good, something they're not used to with Uber, look, I play a game where I can almost guarantee 5-star every time I drive. All right. Because I do the other thing, the talking. As you can tell, Daddy-O can talk. All right. some people and drivers have a hard time with that. So if you're having a hard time with the talking part, play the other game. Go ahead and get this going because it works. It works. It works. It works. All right. I have used it for years. My son, like I say, he does. There's another strategy to just Uber and transportation. But anyway, he's used this for years, and he turned me on to it because I was buying this one and trying that one. And he goes, no, Dad, you got to stick with that Gain Honeyberry Hula. And once I started using it regular, I get so many comments about this one smell. The lady actually took pictures. She says, I want to know what this is. I want this. I held the can in the back seat for her so she could take the picture of the name on it. I showed her this too. All right. But she, I'm just telling, look, it's hard. You know, sometimes I get on here and I talk about stuff, and it's hard sometimes to impress people as how important. There are certain things you do when you're an Uber driver if you're wanting to make, and I've talked about it before. Some people may get tired of it. Make the extras. Daddy-O made so much extras this past weekend. I'm sloughing off a little bit. I sloughed off a little bit last week, but last week was a good week. All right. I'm already come out here this morning, and in no time, I've done $55, and I haven't drove, 15 miles? You know, it's just how you approach your Uber, how you approach the people when they get in the vehicle. What are you doing? I play, you know, I've told you before, I play a certain type of music. You know, I get them in the right mood when they get in the vehicle. Complain. All right. That's just a game I learned a long time ago. And I've talked about it. And some people may be getting tired of me talking about that. But when you can play the little subtle games, if you don't have the rap, if you can't talk, if you can't get the game going with the voices, you know, talking to your people and get them to enjoy your ride. You know, I've told you before, you want to become a friend. You don't really, but that's the idea behind Ubering. Every time I get someone in the backseat, we're talking. We're having a good time on the ride. If you can get that kind of attitude, the car smells fantastic. You know, they're taking pictures of they want to know what that smell is. When you can get that kind of reaction out of people, it makes Ubering easier. It makes it more fun. All right. Because you know, people have enjoyed the ride. You enjoyed talking with them. There's just games to play. And I've talked about this before. And some people, I get comments. So comment. Let me know if you've tried this. All right. Let me know. Let me know if you're going to try it. And like I say, if you have a hard time going to Walmart and finding it, I challenge you just in the link down below in the description of I think a lot of my videos, you'll find a link for this because I wanted to keep track of it myself. I actually had to order this last time myself. All right. It's hard to find at Walmart. It really is. You can go in there. Now, last time I was able to find it at Walmart, I found one of these. They come in a 2-pack. I was able to find a 2-pack of these, and that was it. Could not find the can at all. All right. That was my last visit. I try to stay stocked up on this stuff because it is, in my book, it's one of the most important things. The clean car, the smell, the music, and talk to your peeps. That's it, guys. I challenge you to go get some Honeyberry Febreze. Honeyberry Gain Hula. Honeyberry Hula. This is the stuff. I'm going to let you go with that. That's what this was all about because it happened last night, yesterday, twice. 2 people before they ever got in the vehicle, and there was 2 different rides, commented before they ever got in the vehicle, what is that smell? All right. That smell, I've already expressed it, what it is to you, and it works. Play the game. All right. That's what this is about. Challenge you. Let me know if you've tried it. All right. You guys have a good afternoon, good evening. Daddy-O out for the second. Bye.